Welcome to the ninth episode of the second season of the Heart to Heart podcast. My name's Hafiz, and today we're actually going to be diving into a new book that focuses on mental strength. The name of the book is called Unbeatable Mind, and it's by Mark Devine.
Hey yo, you ready?
Please don't make this complicated. What about the time we wasted on our love? I can't keep the things we traded.
Alright, so let's jump right into it, shall we? Okay, so regardless of your success level, most likely you tend to feel stuck in a lower gear of what you consider possible in your life. In a way, you feel incomplete, kind of half empty, conscious that you're capable of much more than what you're presently doing. However, you're unable to break out of an ingrained pattern of average and mediocrity. I feel like at some point, anyone who wants to make someone proud, anyone who wants to achieve something great, anyone who has a forward moving mindset has felt this way, right? You felt like you could do so much more, right? You feel like there's something holding you back. There's always this idea that there's something that's holding you back from achieving whatever it is that you want to achieve. Now, there obviously are scenarios where things do hold you back. However, most of the time, it is us. We are the ones who are holding ourselves back without even knowing we do that. And it's crazy because what we do, our actions are based off of either what we were taught, what we see from people, or how we feel, right? It's based off of one of those. Unfortunately, in all of those categories, if the information that you received is wrong, the information that you internalized is wrong, then it's not going to be the right way of approaching things. And one of the things that a lot of us do is we fail to take accountability for our actions. Because at the end of the day, regardless of what happens, at the end of the day, we are responsible for our own lives, and we should make it so that we are. Why would you want your life in the hand of someone else? You don't know them. You don't know what they're going to do. You don't know what their intentions are. The only thing you know is your intentions and what you want to do. But with accountability comes taking action, taking necessary action, at times the hard decisions that need to be made. You're going to need to be able to do it. Alright, so for some people, there has been an existential threat, a life or death situation, in order to activate that vast internal resources and potential that is inside of them. Probably you feel the same. This is the puzzle of the human experience. Sometimes you don't make the necessary changes until it's too late. I feel like most of us could relate to this. I feel like everyone could relate to this, but on different levels. Some people could relate to this on a much bigger level, especially the people who've experienced more in life. When you react to situations, you are automatically in a losing position. If you react to a situation, you're automatically in a losing situation. If you are proactively making decisions and moving forward and doing whatever you feel is best, then you're a step ahead of the game. And that's the difference between, honestly, success and failure. That's honestly the difference. Yeah. So the main idea of the book is that you're capable of much more. Alright, so you're capable of achieving much more, capable of being happier, healthier, smarter, and better. You can always improve regardless of your current situation or condition. Now, Mark calls this the 20 times factor. So you're capable of accelerating your daily achievements 20 times what you are presently doing. Don't allow yourself to slide into physical and mental mediocrity. One of the most important ideas in the book is the notion that daily training and practice is more important than a skill teacher or skills itself. Okay, so if determination is the will to keep showing up and putting out 100% every day, then perseverance is the discipline to follow through and keep on going no matter what obstacles stand on your way. So a lot of us are aware of what determination is and what it takes, and we've all had a situation where we were 100% determined with something, right? We go all in. We'll stay up all night if we have to. We do whatever it takes to achieve that. And I feel like everyone understands what determination means, but not many people understand what perseverance means. Not many people understand what it means to wake up every day when you don't want to do it, but you do it because you know you need to do it, because you have a bigger goal in mind. There's a huge difference between those two, and it's important that you do it's important that you do distinguish between them. It's very important that you do. And perseverance is so much harder than determination, because determination could happen over the span of 5 minutes, could happen over the span of maybe even a couple of days, but perseverance is at least a couple of days to years, maybe even a lifetime for that matter. So it's much harder for perseverance, especially because the longer you go, the more obstacles you're going to face. But the longer you go, the more prepared you're going to be to tackle those obstacles. So yeah. All right, so you don't fail. You find a way to make one or learn how to not do something. You are successful when you learn what doesn't work and create a new or better way. You cannot fail in the traditional sense of the word. You simply keep trying until succeed. To fully develop your potential requires a higher degree of risk tolerance and commitment to the mission. It must start deep inside of you. I can't stress this enough. If you don't want to do something, you're going to do everything you can to push yourself away from doing it. Even if it's something really simple, even if it's something that you know has a big impact, but it's uncomfortable, whatever it is, whatever the situation is, if you don't want to do something, you're not going to end up doing it. You're not going to do it. You're not going to be able to give your best for it. And I think that is something that is an unfortunate reality of life, honestly. That's what it is. Because even if you want to do something properly, unless you really, really want it, unless it comes from deep inside of you, perseverance won't be there. You're going to end up quitting 2 or 3 days in, when either it gets hard, or someone else tells you something else and you get distracted, or something else just gets in the way and you're not able to overcome it because deep inside it didn't come from you. So I can't stress that enough. So you don't try to do it. So trying expresses the possibility that something can't be done. When you decide to do something, commit to seeing it through. Learn to adapt, improvise, and overcome any obstacle that comes your way. This is a different way of living. I think I've said this before. I believe on a podcast. I'm not 100% sure about that. But the only things that you get done in life are things you need to do. Okay? Any other thing that you do that's not a need is done just because you're bored. And you're not going to end up doing those when you need to do it, for instance. Like, there's a time when it would be really beneficial, but you're not bored anymore. You're not going to do it. The needs, the absolute needs, will be done because you believe your life depends on it. And if you don't believe your life depends on it, you're not going to do it. Because why? Why do it? Why not take the easier way out? Why not just relax, right? Why do it? But that's the difference, right? And I think this is if there's one thing that I'd say that differentiates anyone who's successful in something big, it's whatever it is that they did, that they were successful at, they made that a need, not a want. They made it that their life depended on it. That was the difference between that. Anything, I'm serious, like any big thing. Look at any athlete. Anyone who's done anything big, their life depended on it, and that's why they did that. They put their all, they sacrificed so much, their life depended. Let's just end it as they made it a need, not a want. That's the difference. All right. So to be a witness in your own life can be very liberating. Right? So the ability to gain distance from your own thoughts. The more you connect with your witness, the more you realize you're not your thoughts. Sometimes people get stuck in their own thinking in their heads. But negativity destroys performance and happiness. Our minds have a bias for negativity in order to survive. But not necessarily. It does depend on what you feed it to. your thoughts can be connected to you. You could be stuck in your own thinking and in your own head, but there's also a way out, and that's something that a lot of us don't realize until we realize it. And once you realize it, wow, you're living a new life. It feels like a new life because now you're looking at yourself from a third person's point of view. That's when you're going to stop being too hard on yourself. That's when you're going to start pushing yourself more. That's when you're going to be like, hey, maybe you need a day off. Or hey, nah, you've been relaxing way too much. You got to get up and continue, right? If you look at it from inside of yourself, you're going to be talking based off of how you feel. If you look from within, that is how you determine the decisions, or that's how decisions are made based off of how you feel. If you zoom out, and you're looking from the top downwards, right? Then you're going to be deciding based off of what the real situation is. Your head and your thoughts are not meant to be the same as your feelings. Your head and your thought are the reality of the situation. They're the, I guess those are the facts of how it is, and inside is how you feel based off of your current situation. Starving, fear, feeding, courage. Okay, so negativity erodes performance, the same as second guessing yourself and negative self-talk. This is a great process you can do. Witness negativity, observe it. Just by observing something without judgment, you can improve it. All right, so number 1, stop it with a powerful statement or affirmation. Choose whatever fits you better. So you could choose something like, I am powerful or I am unstoppable. Number 2, redirect your focus to something positive. So you can think on your current goal and ask yourself something like, what is my outcome here? Number 3, maintain the new mental state with a mantra. So deep breathing for this is ideal. Okay. If you are someone who is a negative person and a negative thought comes to mind, likely what's going to happen is you're going to continue. It's going to end up being a train of negative thoughts. You need to stop it. You need to end it. You need to cut it off. And how you cut it off is by using a statement of affirmation. Using affirmations are huge. Use a statement of affirmation, and through that, you're going to be able to ease up a bit on the negativity. And even if you don't remove that negative thought, you can at least block more negative thoughts from coming. And so it's really, really important that you do that. Also, redirect your focus to something positive, right? In everyone's life, there's something good going on. If you can't notice it, pay close attention. There's always something to be grateful for. Life itself is something to be grateful for. Even someone on their dying bed has something to be grateful for, and that's the ability to live. That's the fact that they've lived their entire life. Okay, there's always something to be grateful for, and I think gratitude's the best form of redirecting your focus to something positive. And right as soon as you redirect it to that positive thing, take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath. Okay, really deep breath. Okay. Near-term positive images are very powerful. For example, images that are happening in the near term, something around you. So imagine yourself in an action, okay? In an action that you're going to take. So let's say you're going to have lunch. Imagine a couple of minutes, the ideal scenario for that lunch. Now, apply this same logic or the same thought process to success. Imagine yourself achieving great things, whatever your end goal is. Imagine yourself achieving that. Imagine yourself moving forward. Imagine yourself, let's say you want to be standing on a podium because you won, I don't know, okay, the spelling bee, okay? Let's say you won the spelling bee. Imagine yourself in that first place position. Like, take a moment to actually think about it and imagine it. Trust me. Okay, the 3 P's and one thing. So what are you passionate about and how can you do more of that? What do you value and how can I live by these principles? What is my purpose? Who am I? And what am I here for? What is the one thing I'm supposed to accomplish in my life? How is today's one thing connected to my life's one thing? And how do I take one thing and activate it in the world? I think this is a very good framework for it's a very good framework for trying to get to know yourself. Because if I ask you a question right now and I ask you, who are you? Like, really, like deep down inside, who are you? Um, I'm gonna be honest. Chances are most of y'all won't be able to answer. This is a really, really good way of answering it. Really, really good way. So, what are you passionate about? What is something that you really, really want to make change in, or something that you feel strongly about, or something that you really, really enjoy doing, like genuinely, you're like, this makes me happy, right? You need to know what that is. What do you value? You have to have certain principles that you live by. That means regardless of what happens, you're never going to cross those boundaries. You're never going to not do certain things. Whatever it is, you need to have principles. It is critical. That is the only way you could live a meaningful life. Straight up. Okay, what is my purpose, right? So a lot of times we come here. So a lot of times we question, like, what are we doing here and whatnot. We're supposed to make an impact on the world, whether it's at a small level or at a bigger scale. We're supposed to make an impact. To be honest, most of us are making an impact. We don't recognize it, but that impact is not enough to keep us fulfilled. You need to. You're supposed to. We are supposed to be helping. We're supposed to help improve the world, become a better place. It's what we're supposed to do. And then how can I take my one thing and activate it in the world? Well, so let's say you know exactly what you want to do, right? Maybe what you're passionate about. Yeah. So let's say you know what you're passionate about, right? How do you apply that to this world? What are the steps you need to take in order to achieve that? These are the questions you need to ask yourself to try and get the answer. Okay. All right. So lack of passion, meaning, and purpose is a major cause of challenges in this world. Some people have a vague sense of purpose. The clearer you are about this question, the better it is. It's a continuous process and it involves defining and redefining your values, purpose, dreams. And a great way of visualizing is journaling. It's an excellent way of clarifying it because as you journal at all, or at least take notes about what you're doing, what you plan on doing, how you plan on doing it, etc., that's going to really, really help you identify. You're going to see a pattern, and then you're going to be able to really get a better understanding of what you're doing. Okay, your arbitrary excuse. All right, so imagine a friend of yours is reading your arbitrary after you passed away. What would you like for him to read or say? Because this one's really, really deep, okay? And I'm going to ask you this question real quick. If you were to die right now, okay? You were to die today, what would be written for you? What would people say about you? How would people feel you've impacted them? You really need to ask yourself that question. If you're not happy, if you're happy with where things are, then you're good in life. Like, I don't know what to tell you. If you're happy, you're good in life. But I don't think any one of us are happy. We've all got a lot more work to do. We've got a lot more people to impact. And it's really, really important that we, first of all, understand that at any point we could die. We don't get warnings. There's no warnings for death. It comes at any time and it'll take you out. And there's nothing you could do about it. And secondly, that we need to make sure we're doing our part. We need to make sure we're doing our part to help as many people as we can. Remember, success is defined by choice. We choose whether we want to be successful or not. And here's the thing, actually, I'll add to that. Okay, the smaller choices, the regular patterns, right? Like not the big ones, the smaller ones. Those are the ones that make a difference between someone who's average and extraordinary, right? And it's really, really important that we do start with the small things that end up adding up to a big thing, and we do our part in helping make this world a better place. That'll be the end of this episode. Thank you so much for listening. That was part 1 of the summary of Unbeatable Mind by Mark Devine. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you all next week. Peace.
I'll keep my residual. You'll take back your tip